Hello, Dan Nedelkovsky here from howtomechatronics.com. In this tutorial, we will learn how to control high voltage electronic devices using the Arduino board. We can do that using relays. A relay is actually a switch which is electrically operated by an electromagnet. The electromagnet is activated with a low voltage, for example 5 volts from a microcontroller, and it pulls a contact to make or break a high voltage circuit. As an example for this tutorial, I will use this 2-channel relay module HL52S, which has 2 relays with rating of 10 amps at 250 and 125 volts AC and 10 amps at 30 and 28 volts DC. The high voltage output connector has 3 pins. The middle one is the common pin, and as we can see from the markings here, this pin is the one for normally open connection and the other one is for normally closed connection. On the other side of the module we have these 2 sets of pins. The first one has 4 pins, a ground and a VCC pin for powering the module and 2 input pins in 1 and in 2. The second set of pins has 3 pins with a jumper between the GD VCC and the VCC pin. With a configuration like this, the electromagnet of the relay is directly powered from the Arduino board, and if something goes wrong with the relay, the microcontroller could get damaged. For better understanding, let's see the circuit schematic of the relay module in this configuration. So we can see that the 5 volts from our microcontroller connected to the VCC pin for activating the relay through the optocoupler IC are also connected to the GD VCC pin, which powers the electromagnet of the relay. So in this case we got no isolation between the relay and the microcontroller. In order to isolate the microcontroller from the relay, we need to remove the jumper and connect separate power supply for the electromagnet to the GD VCC and the ground pin. Now with this configuration, the microcontroller doesn't have any physical connection with the relay, so it just uses the LED light of the optocoupler IC to activate the relay. There is one more thing to be noticed from this circuit schematic. The input pins of the module work inversely. As we can see, the relay will activate when the input pin will be low, because in that way the current will be able to flow from the VCC to the input pin, which is low or ground, and the LED will light up and activate the relay. When the input pin will be high, there will be no current flow, so the LED will not light up and the relay will not be activated. Okay, now before we continue with this tutorial, I will warn you here that we will use high voltage, which if incorrectly or improperly used could result in serious injuries or death. So be very cautious of what you are doing, because I take no responsibility for any of your actions. Now I will proceed with this tutorial and explain how to use the relay module with the high voltage devices. First, let's take a look at the circuit diagram. As previously described, I will use a 5 volts adapter as separate power supply for the electromagnet connected to the GD VCC and the ground pin. The Arduino's 5 volts pin will be connected to the VCC pin of the module, and the pin number 7 to the in-1 input pin for controlling the relay. Now for the high voltage part, we need a power plug, a socket and a cable with 2 wires. One of the 2 wires will be cut and connected to the common and the normally open pin of the module output connector. So with this configuration, when we will activate the relay, we will get the high voltage circuit closed and working. Here's how I made the cable. So I bought a plug, a socket and a cable like this. Then I carefully cut the cable and cut one of the wires like this and connected them to the normally open connection pins of the relay module. Also, I connected the ends of the cable to the plug and the socket like this, and here's the final appearance of my cable ready for use. However, before you use your cable, make sure it's working properly. You can check it using multimeter or test it with a low voltage first. Okay, now what's left for this tutorial is to make a simple code and test the relay module how it will work. Here's the simple code. We will just use the pin number 7 for controlling the relay, so we will define it as output and make a program that will just activate and deactivate the relay each 3 seconds. I will mention once again here that the input of the module works inversely, so a logic low at the input will actually activate the relay and vice versa. Here's the demonstration of this example. I tested 3 devices on it. First a 100 watts light bulb, then a desk lamp and a fan heater. All of these devices work on 220 volts. So that's how we can control any high voltage device using Arduino or actually any other microcontroller. And of course the possibilities are now endless. For example, we can control the devices using a TV remote, Bluetooth, SMS, internet and so on.